Welcome to the Holston Valley Unitarian Universalist Virtual Church. My name is Beth, and even though we cannot physically get together this morning, I'm glad that we can get together through this pre-recorded virtual service. Today we'll hear from 3 congregants who all attended the Unitarian Universalist General Assembly this summer. General Assembly, usually known as GA, is an annual gathering of Unitarian Universalists held in June in a different city in the United States every year. Member congregations send delegates and conventioneers to participate in the plenary sessions, workshops, regional gatherings, public witness events, and worship services. In recent years, attendance at each General Assembly has reached over 5,500 folks. This year, the conference was held virtually rather than in person. Brittany, Dana, and Brian will all share their impressions and some wisdom learned from General Assembly. This service was recorded mere days after losing a hero of the people, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She was a stalwart champion of equal rights and a voice for those without a voice. Many of us are mourning her death. Many are mourning the loss of a bright light in dark times. But we can honor her work, and her life by holding her light and carrying it forward. As we light this chalice this morning, we remember the light she shone. Let us remember her on her own terms. I would like to be remembered as someone who used whatever talent she had to do her work to the very best of her ability. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
For the postlude this morning, we are reminded that it is always a good time to ask questions with Woody Guthrie's song, Why, Oh Why, performed by Guerry McConnell.
Go to sleep. Close your eyes. But I have questions. What are they? Why does a camel drink water? Why, oh why, oh why? Does a camel get thirsty just like you and I? Good night. Good night. Why can't a mouse in a streetcar? Why, oh why, oh why? Because a mouse's stomach is too small to eat a streetcar. Good night, good night, good night. Why can't cow have kittens? Well, a cow has little calves and a cat has little kittens, and good night. Good night, good night, good night. Why can't a bird eat an elephant? Why, oh why, oh why? Because an elephant has very hard skin. Good night, good night, good night. Why aren't you answering my questions? Why, oh why, oh why? Because I don't know the answers. Good night, good night, good night.
We will sing Loving Kindness next. Please hold a light in your heart to dispel the darkness, to honor someone or some event, or to lift up a memory.
Hello, my name is Brittany Butler, and I officially joined Holston Valley Unitarian Universalist Church as a member in 2018. I currently serve this congregation as a member of the Minister Search Committee. I was looking forward, like so many others, to attending General Assembly, or GA, in person in Rhode Island this past summer. But a record number of people were able to attend virtually, and organizers were still able to deliver good, timely content. One of the first sessions I attended was the report on the Commission on Institutional Change. The committee was asked a question: why should we care about the work of racial accountability, reconciliation, reformation, and change during this time when we have faced a global pandemic, an economic crisis, and a national conversation about race? The answer was given by Reverend Leslie Takahashi and really resonated with me. She said, first and foremost, we should understand that our theology and our history as Unitarian Universalists lead us to the struggle against racism and any form of dehumanization because we believe in the inherent dignity of every human being. One of us is not free if all of us are not free. One of us is not safe if all of us are not safe. I was able to connect and network with members from Blue and Drum, two organizations within the UUA. Blue stands for Black Lives Unitarian Universalism. Formed in 2015, Blue works to provide support, information, and resources for Black UUs. Blue has a rich history and a vision that states, Blue harnesses love's power to combat oppression and foster healing as a spiritual and political imperative. We know the power of love to be changing, inclusive, relational, uncomfortable, unconditional, and without end. Founded in 1997, DRUM stands for Diverse and Revolutionary UU Multicultural Ministries. It is a people of color ministry. From the DRUM website, it states, while people of color are inspired by the liberating messages of UU, congregational life often does not reflect diverse worldviews or cultural practices. Often, congregations are not committed to the justice struggles of communities of color. This can leave people of color feeling invisible and isolated. DRUM is an anti-racist collective, bringing lay and religious professionals together to overcome racism through resistance and transform UU through shared multicultural experiences. Through these two organizations, I am supported by groups of people who are like me and may feel isolated as one of few Black, Indigenous, people of color in their home congregation. But Blue and Drum create a safe community of sharing, while individuals can work for greater cultural inclusion at their home churches. While sad that I could not physically get away for a few days, I was thrilled to learn more UU history and experience the many people who are actively working to improve themselves, their congregations, and their communities by doing the work and living the principles of UU. The UUA did a great job of addressing the injustices that have existed and still exist within the UU faith through respectful conversations about difficult topics. I'll end with a quote from the UUA Commission on Institutional Change. Shame is never the goal of anti-racism work. and it is a frequent byproduct because of conditioning in a mastery culture that one is supposed to be learned, not learning. For more information about the Institutional Change Report, Blue or Drum, please check out uua.org.
Good morning. My name is Bryan K, and I was recently a delegate to the General Assembly, which turned out to be virtual this year because of COVID. And much of the assembly was surrounding the ideas of how we can end white supremacy and support Black Lives Matter. And I went there with several different ideas in my head. One, how to bring persons of color into the church, how to figure out what I personally can do to help end white supremacy, and what we as a church can do as a whole to end white supremacy. And these issues were very common for most of the churches. Oftentimes you will find that the Unitarian churches are predominantly white and of an older generation, and we're all struggling with finding energetic young people joining our church. And it was said that first you have to know why you want them to join your church. If it's just because you don't have enough people, Black and Indigenous persons of color, then that's not really a good answer. You have to go with the first principle, the inherent worth and dignity of all persons. And personally myself, what I can do is I always have to watch what I am saying, my expression, my thoughts and deeds, to make sure that I'm not backing up some white supremacy issue, that I'm not in error in my way of speaking. I always have to make sure that if I hear somebody putting down persons of color in a humorous way, supposedly, to say, I don't understand. Can you explain to me what part of it is funny? I need to know what you think is the funny part. And once they get prodded into actually thinking about it, they'll realize what they're saying is not funny. And what can we do as a whole, as a church, to help end white supremacy? And that is vote. The more progressive people who vote, the better chance that the progressive issues will be advanced. We have to vote every time. We have to help others who are being prevented from voting by white supremacy to vote. And in conclusion, what can we do to bring people into the church? And there's a quote that's attributed to Albert Einstein that says, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You cannot bring people into the church unless you make the church a place that is a nurturing home, an anti-white supremacy home that's a beacon for all people, all races, all colors, all genders, in a non-creedal way. I guess that's my short speech for today. I hope you have a good day. Thank you.
My name is Dana York, and I serve this church as the president of the Board of Trustees. As such, I represented Holston Valley at the virtual Unitarian Universalist 2020 General Assembly, conducted by Zoom as a delegate for our church. First, I must say I was a little apprehensive to attend a 5-day conference that went from 8 in the morning until some evenings after 10 p.m., especially since there were over 4,800 people on this call with me. But I must say that the HVUUC Planning Committee certainly outdid themselves with the technical aspects as well as the content for this meeting. They practiced and fostered multicultural dialogue and community in all aspects of this meeting. This was especially evident in the meeting themes, the speakers, content of the sessions. As a delegate, I attended the business general session where we acted on bylaw amendments, a business resolution on embodying human rights in our investment decisions, as well as electing next year's co-moderators. A highlight for me was attending the morning services and some of over 100 sessions, as well as the opportunity to have unique discussions in some of the 22 provided workshops. For me as a new UU, it was certainly great to learn more about our church history, leadership, and stewardship, and the ability to listen and discuss such things as Black Lives Matter and reproductive justice. I especially enjoyed the virtual learning stage on topics like why inclusion, diversity, and equity matters to your congregation, and poster sessions where I learned a lot about all the organizations that we work with. The best thing was that while I did not have to sit through 50 hours of the conference, I did like being able to listen no matter what I was doing on the farm that week, as well as being able to have discussions in breakout rooms with 10 people from all over the country and world in sessions that would have over 200 people in them. The cost was greatly reduced for all attendees, which certainly makes it possible for more attendees than ever before, and the virtual format certainly did create access to many people. If you're interested, you can visit gaonline.uua.org and view much of the conference through vimo.com. All I can say is from my experience is, well done, UUA.
Our time together is nearly finished, but our work is not done. May our spirits be renewed and our resolve strengthened as we meet the challenges of the week to come. Please help me close this service now. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world. Thanks for joining us, and please come back whenever you like. We will post another pre-recorded virtual church service next Sunday. Please remember that our services are recorded in advance, so sometimes events move forward without us. However, you can find up-to-date information on local events, social justice issues, inspiration, and content for all ages on our Facebook page. I hope to join you at our virtual coffee hour beginning at 11:30. You can find the link on our website, HVUUC.org, under the News and Events tab. To close our service, Guerry will share with us a piece of music with timely words by David Newman. It's called Stay Strong. As you make your way through the week, remember these words of wisdom from Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Do something outside yourself. A meaningful life is living not for oneself, but for one's community. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. So often in life, things that you regard as an impediment turn out to be great good fortune. Reacting in anger or annoyance will not advance one's ability to persuade. And finally, fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you.
grace of God bless each man and every woman in this land. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. Whatever comes to meet us, know the darkness won't defeat us. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. Let's all come together, take care of each other. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. Raise your hand through the air, take a stand, say a prayer. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. Hand in hand, side by side, with our hearts open wide. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. Brothers and sisters will find love on our side. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. Raise your hand through the air, take a stand, say a prayer. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. In times like these, remember what is real. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. Let us all bring love and happiness. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. Raise your hand in the air, take a stand, say a prayer. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. Raise your hand in the air, take a stand, say a prayer. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. May the grace of God bless each man and every woman in this land. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. Whatever comes to meet us, know the darkness won't defeat us. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. Let's all come together, take care of each other. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. Raise your hand through the air, take a stand, say a prayer. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. Hand in hand, side by side, with our hearts open wide. Stay strong.